Today we're diving back into those southern cookbooks, and let me just tell you, I have the perfect, easy fall recipes in here. Hey y'all, I'm Jen. Welcome back. So today we're gonna start off with the most perfect creamy chicken and veggie soup. You can throw this together in 30 minutes, and the best part is you can use already grilled or rotisserie chicken. It makes it come together super quick on those busy nights, but it does not lack on flavor. This soup is so good. So I just have 2 tablespoons of butter melting in my Dutch oven here, and we're gonna add some yummy stuff to this. All right, so to my butter, I have about half an onion chopped. We're gonna add a couple stalks of chopped celery. I have a whole bunch of mushrooms because we really like them. This is probably 2 or 3 cups of chopped mushrooms. And then also you can add chopped carrots to this. That's delicious. I thought I had bought some carrots, but I didn't. So I just added some red pepper. It'll still bring that sweetness and a little bit of color. Gonna toss that around a little bit. I'm also gonna go ahead and add about a tablespoon of minced garlic. Turn my burner up to medium high, and I'm just gonna let this saute for a few minutes until these veggies start to get a little bit soft. I already pulled that beer bread out of the oven. My house smells like sauteed garlic and onion and buttery bread. Oh my goodness, I'm starving, y'all. And don't worry, I'm gonna show y'all how to make that beer bread in just a second. So while all my veggies are sauteing, I'm gonna go ahead and season it with some Auntie Nonos everything seasoning. Y'all have heard me talk about Auntie Nonos before, but I'm gonna tell you again, and I'm so excited because they are actually sponsoring today's video. Y'all have heard me talk about Auntie Nonos quite a few times here on my channel. I use these all the time, especially my everything seasoning. I truly use it on everything. And Auntie Nonos has an amazing sale going on right now. I had to tell y'all about it. You can get 50% off. I'll tell you the details on that here in just a second. It has salt, pepper, onion, and garlic, all in this one little shaker. So whenever you're making a recipe and you taste it and you're like, it needs a little something, needs just a little bit more flavor, add your everything seasoning. Like I said, with the soup, we added that to our chicken when we grilled that. It's delicious on chicken, steak, anything you want to throw on the grill, even a burger. And then also I season my soup with it. So it just adds those layers of flavors without even having to think about it. Just grab your everything seasoning and you're seriously good to go. If you don't already have a house seasoning that is your go-to, that you just pick up and literally throw it on everything, you need one. And this one is my favorite. If you have a sheet pan full of potatoes or veggies, you don't have to grab your salt, your pepper, everything else. Just grab your everything seasoning. And speaking of veggies and potatoes, the firecracker sea salt is my favorite. So this obviously is a little bit spicy. It gives you a kick in the form of heat, but it also has a lot of smoky flavor in there, which y'all know, we just love that. But this one is also really good for grilled chicken wings. You can use it for a popcorn topper. So many things you can do with this. Anything that you want to add a little extra zing to, this is gonna be your go-to. Also in my little trio right here, I have the Auntie Nonos seafood seasoning. You can use this on any kind of seafood like it says, not just seafood. I happen to know this is also very good on grilled chicken wings, but of course your air fried salmon, your shrimp, anything like that, this is delicious. These little seasonings have truly become our go-to. There's just simple things in here, no over the top, crazy flavors, something that I know my family will enjoy, but just super easy to pull out of the cabinet, add just a little bit, and I know it's gonna take up my recipe to the next level. And now to that deal I was telling y'all about. Right now, when you use my code Cook Clean and Repeat 50, you're actually gonna be able to get 50% off any set of 2 and free shipping. You're gonna wanna have this everything seasoning just to use on everything. So while you can get 50% off, I would recommend grabbing a pack of 2 of these. And then also you can grab a pack of 2 in this form, the firecracker sea salt and the seafood seasoning. That way you can give all those a try and you're seriously gonna be set. Or maybe if you're not a huge fan of spicy foods, you can always just grab an everything seasoning and a seafood seasoning, and you can still get 50% off of that as well. It will automatically give you the 50% off, which is just so awesome. I know you guys are gonna love Auntie Nonos if you haven't tried them already. So thank you again to Auntie Nonos. Now let's get back to cooking. We're also gonna add about a half a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Our veggies are starting to soften up nicely, so now we're just gonna whisk in 1/4 cup of flour. Next, I'm going to continue whisking and add about 4 cups of chicken broth. I also have about 3 cups of chopped cooked chicken, and this is just some leftover grilled chicken that Darren did the other night, and he just grilled it with some avocado oil and that Auntie Nonos everything seasoning. That is absolutely the most perfect seasoning for meal prep because you can use it in any kind of recipe and it's going to blend so nicely. All right, so I'm actually going to pop the lid on. I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and I'm going to let it simmer just about 15 minutes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner all the way off. You can see the soup is simmering nicely. It already looks delicious. But next, I'm just going to stir in about 2 cups of half and half. And I may go back in with just a little bit more. Actually might add just a tiny bit of heavy cream. But this looks so good. I cannot wait to eat this. I just turned the burner back on to low. I'm going to add just a little bit more half and half to this because we like ours super creamy. We'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll be ready to serve this up. Alrighty, our soup is done. Can y'all see how nice and creamy this is? I also did add a little bit of cornstarch and water, probably about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch mixed with a little water, just to thicken it up a little bit. I really like my soups like this, kind of to stick to your spoon a little bit. So let's get this in a bowl, serve it up with that bread. It's gonna be so good. All right, here's that delicious soup. This is gonna be my lunch. I'm so excited. It looks and smells absolutely delicious. And I have a little side of that beer bread. Let me show y'all how to make that now. So this recipe calls for 3 cups of flour sifted. So that just means we want to make sure our flour is sifted before you measure out the 3 cups because it will be a little bit different. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of sugar, then 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Just going to give that a quick whisk to whisk all those dry ingredients together. And then next we're going to add 1 12-ounce beer. And this is actually a non-alcoholic beer. You can totally use these. Or if you don't want to use beer at all, you can use something like a just plain seltzer water. You just need 12 ounces. But I will tell you, if you can use beer, then definitely use it. You don't taste the beer. It doesn't taste like beer. The alcohol cooks out, of course. And it just gives it a sweetness. It's delicious. All right, we're just gonna gently mix all that together. I'm gonna grab a different utensil. So while I'm mixing this, I may have told y'all this before, y'all have to let me know, but have any of y'all ever heard of the company called Tastefully Simple? It is a MLM, but I used to do that when McKenna was little. And basically what it is, it sells all these different like food mixes and stuff. Anyway, one of their most popular items was a beer bread mix. And it was actually really, really good. I know some of y'all have probably tried it. Y'all have to let me know. But anyway, I used to love making that beer bread. But you can make it just as easy with a few ingredients at home. We're gonna spray that a little bit. Add our bread dough. Next, I'm just gonna go melt half a stick of butter and I'll be right back. We're just gonna pour that melted butter right over top of the beer bread. And I already have my oven preheated to 375. This is going in there for 1 hour. All right, I just pulled this out of the oven. How gorgeous is that? Listen. Do y'all hear that buttery golden crust on top? This is gonna be so perfect with that chicken soup. Y'all look at the inside of this bread, how fluffy it looks. The top is that crunchy, buttery, golden crust. All the way down on the sides where we poured that butter. This is gonna be so good with that soup, but can you imagine with just some butter, maybe some honey or some jam? This is so good. If you've never tried beer bread, you definitely need to try some this weekend. All right, I'm gonna be honest with y'all because I don't want y'all to make this and think you did something wrong. It's gonna be not the easiest bread to slice because we're slicing through that crumbly, buttery crust on top. But don't worry, it's still gonna taste delicious. All these little crumbly bits down here are just gonna be perfect to throw into your soup. But I just wanna keep it real and let y'all know it's not gonna slice up all beautiful unless you mix your butter instead of pouring it over top. You can mix it in with everything else. My favorite part is the little buttery bits on top, so I don't mind it being crumbly when I slice it up. But just know that when you go to slice it, it will kind of fall apart on you. You have to kind of really hold it to slice together. So if you like the buttery crumbs, do it this way. But if not, just mix it all together and your bread will slice up even more nicely. So the other morning after I took my girls to school, I stopped by my grandbob's house, who y'all have heard me talk about so much here lately on my channel. Hey grandbob, if you're watching. And she had all of her old cookbooks, her church cookbooks, her community cookbooks, all laid out for me. And y'all, I stayed there for 2 whole hours just going through those things, taking my time. By the time I left, I was starving after reading through all those amazing recipes. But needless to say, I am so inspired. I have so many more ideas of recipes I want to make with you guys. But one that I saw was beef stroganoff. And it's just a simple recipe. I used to make this quite a bit a few years ago, but I haven't made it in some time. So I thought I definitely wanted to include that in today's video. So now we're gonna make the most easy and delicious beef stroganoff. I'm just gonna be using my big iron skillet. Just adding a little bit of avocado oil, and I have some chopped onions. Just gonna get that sauteing up a couple minutes. This recipe says to brown up your ground beef and your onion just together, but anytime it calls for chopped onion in something like this, I like to saute mine just a few minutes before I add in my ground beef or whatever it is. I like just a little bit of caramelization going on with my onions. Also, while that's working, I have another pot over here on the side. I'm just gonna boil up some of these egg noodles, the whole package, just according to the package directions. All right, my onions are starting to get a little bit of good color on those. Let's go ahead and add 1 pound of ground beef. We're gonna add about 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. So I'm also gonna go in with that Auntie Nonos everything seasoning. Just sprinkle some on. Okay, so I went ahead and drained my meat. Like I said, I'm just gonna re-season just a little bit. I'm sure I didn't pour off too much of that, but just in case I poured off a lot of that seasoning. I'm also gonna add just a few little splashes of Worcestershire sauce. I'm also adding 1 cup of sour cream. And then 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Now we're just gonna stir everything together. All right, I'm just gonna bring this back up, let this simmer to get all nice and warm through while our egg noodles are finishing cooking up, and they'll be ready to put all this together. All right, so you can totally just serve this over top of egg noodles, but I think I'm gonna pour mine in there today. And I can tell you, just for making beef stroganoff in the past, this makes perfect leftovers, and also this is a really good make ahead meal. I'm actually making mine earlier than dinner time today, so I know when I'm ready to heat this back up, it'll still be perfect. But I can't wait, so let's go ahead and fix up a plate. Give it a little bit of parsley just for some color on top. There we go, delicious dinner in only about 30 minutes. And this would be a 1 skillet meal if it wasn't for just cooking the pasta on the side. That is perfect. That is comfort food, my friends. It's creamy, it's filling, has your protein, ground beef in there. You can throw it together in about 30 minutes. Would also be really good with the addition of mushrooms as well. This one's a keeper. Y'all give this one a try. If you are loving these recipes, make sure you let me know down below, but also check out the playlist. I'm gonna link it right here and down below. It is my church cookbook series, and if you like today's video, you're gonna love all the rest of these. Make sure you are good and caught up. Also, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos coming up. I hope you all are having the best week. Also, don't forget to grab your Auntie Nonos 50% off. Who doesn't love that? And I will see you guys real soon in my next video. Bye y'all.